Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Alex Reyes. Welcome to Point Fighter Live. All right, we're gonna have a super awesome show today. Actually, I have three shows today. All right, today's a power day. Today we got a bunch of power today. We got a bunch of superstars calling in. We coming in on the show. We got promoters. We got a bunch of tournaments to talk about this today. But right now, this show is gonna be focused on the Northeast Martial Arts Challenge, which was this past weekend. And Point Fighter Live, make sure you give us a like, give us some shares, give us some comments. Let's get the word spread out. I'm about to do that right now myself. So just come on in. Let's get some more viewers. I'm about to share what's going on. All right, here we go. I'm about to do my share. I'm sharing it. Here we go. I'm going crazy on the share button right now. You go crazy too. All right, here we go. All right, what's going on, Vince? Everything good? All right, guys. So we got a great show. We got Joey Castro calling. The promoter Pat Reilly is calling in as well. He's gonna join us on the show, and Jason Tankson Borelli. So if everybody gets into the show, what's going on, Rick? Everything good? Power, baby. Nice. Okay, now. Okay, so we're gonna have Joey Castro and Jason Tankson Borelli on the show later on tonight. Don't miss it. Make sure you guys get the notifications. We're gonna have Robbie Lavoie. He's out in California, so that show is gonna start at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so your Eastern time, it's 8:10 right now. At 10, we're gonna bring in Robbie. We're gonna talk about the Quebec Open, and then later on that night, when we're done with that interview, we're going to bring in Brett Ford. And I think Joey Perry's going to also call in the promoter of the Arkansas Open. So it's going to be two good shows. Point Fighter approved events, guys. You got an event, that's good. I only promote good tournaments. And, it's Point Fighter approved. We've got a few ones coming up. May 6th, that's this weekend, British Open. We are British Open Championship. That's over there in England. That's Del Sampson. It's going to be a great event. We're going to have live streaming from there as well. Then the following week, we got 4 events. We got Top 10 Acapulco, right? And then we have Ross Levine's going to be there. My team is going to be there as well. They got $750 going out to the open weight, okay, by NEMAC. That's Michael Politi, okay? So check that out. And that weekend, we have 2 tournaments in South Florida. The Kick USA, USA Sport Karate. It's blitz rated. John Cordona, great guy. That's in South Florida. That's going to be in West Palm Beach. It's, Florida is a state with many great tournaments. So it's going to be a good one. Very organized. That same day, we have the Masters. They're giving out $2,500 in prize money. So that's a lot of money and it's in a beautiful location. The DeVille, that's where the Pan Ams used to be. And they got a stage. It's going to be very nice. Great awards by Mini Queen. That's in Miami, Florida. The same weekend, Infinity Nationals. That is in Wisconsin. That's going to be a great tournament as well. And the Kalahari Resort is awesome. Mike Welch and Jeff Arlowski. It's an independent event. And it's one of these tournaments that are growing in the United States. Okay? So, we also got a show tomorrow. We got Craig Harrington out there. He won Malcolm Evans' tournament out there in Scotland. He won the open weight. We're going to bring him on the show tomorrow because right now it's late over there in Scotland. All right? The time difference is big. It's a big difference. So, we're going to have 4 shows in 2 days. All right? So, but that's it, guys. That's what it's all about. Point Fighter is all about, it's not just about, just a few certain events, national tournaments. We're here to promote the sport and the athletes that train hard to compete. So that's one of the beautiful things about the Point Fighter live streams and these shows that we do. And just, there's a lot of great tournaments. It's not just about competing at the NASCAR Worlds or this world tournament, this national. It's about all of them, right? You train hard, you compete, you get that recognition. Okay? Hey, before we get going to to the guest on the show. What do you guys caption this? Can you guys see that well? That's how would you guys caption this? There's a new segment that we have. Post it right there. What's up, Rick? Power, baby. That's right. Caption that one. I'm gonna ask the guests, well, how would they caption that? We had some good ones earlier today on the Point Fighter page. That was pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, we got 2 more tournaments coming up before we get onto the show. Daytona Beach, May 19. That's on the beach, blitz rated. Double elimination, great tournament. May 26. That's Saturday and Sunday. And 27. It's Saturday and Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. And then Monday's Memorial Day. You have it off in Texas. My team's going to be there as well. I'm hearing a lot of teams are coming out to that tournament too. Great NBL event. All right, ASG. Great sponsor. They got the new hats, which I forgot to wear mine today. All right, but let's see. I have a feeling that we're going to see that hat today. All right, and the Mini Queen Designs, Royalty Promotions. Great company. They do great awards. All right. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, here we go. We're going to bring in first the promoter. Okay, let's bring this down. Let's bring in the actually, we're going to bring this up. Check out some of the winners as we're talking. We're going to bring in Pat Reilly first, okay? Here we go. Let me see. Tankson is messaging me now. So, let's see. I'm going to reply back to him. All right? He's going to join us at 8:30, so that's perfect. Perfect timing. All right, guys, here we go. Pat Reilly.
Hey, guys. Power.
Yeah, power. What's going on, Pat?
Hey, not much. We had a great event up here in the Wilkes-Barre area.
Hey, congratulations on the event, man. Like,
thank you.
It was so packed. Like, it was packed in there, but it ran pretty smooth, too. The whole thing was done, I think, at like 4 something. I think you guys were done.
And then closer to 7.
7? Wow.
Yeah, we had 400 competitors, though, so.
Wow, man. Wow, that is crazy. That's crazy. But, but it flowed. Like, everybody that I spoke to, it wasn't like there was any stalling. It was just, it flowed. When the tournament's flowing like that and there's just a lot of people, that's one of the things you expect. You can't do nothing about that. And I heard the great things about the tournament with the judging, and the flow of the event was great. So congratulations on that as well. And so yeah, man. So how you feeling now? You tired or what?
Well, I couldn't really move on Monday. Tuesday we unpacked a whole lot of boxes, and it's a lot of work. People think a tournament's a 1-day event, and they don't realize it's a whole year of work.
Yeah, man, it's a whole year of work, right? And so and you guys, you got a lot of you do a lot of work with some people think that it's just promote, but you got the sponsorships, right? It's a lot of work. You got the sponsorship, the nice awards. You make sure you got the mats, and it's a lot to run a tournament. It takes a lot to run a tournament, and I love what you did with do you invite schools directly? Because this is good advice maybe for promoters out there listening. A lot of times people just go now on Facebook. They don't even have a flyer. They just promote it online. Like, what is your advice on getting schools to come out to your tournament?
Most of, in my opinion, most of it's supporting the local schools yourself. Stop by the schools and, teach a class with them, or support their events, support their seminars.
Yeah.
Reach out to them and let them know what you're doing.
Yeah. So you have a group of people that you in your school, like a team that you go out and support everybody, right? Kind of type of thing.
Well, I run a pretty small school, but we support as much as we can.
Yeah, that's great, man. So that's good support, and they're gonna support you back, right? That's a great
so
way
we
to
hope.
think about it. Yeah, a lot of times you see a promoter passing out flyers, and they're like, or they don't even go to your tournament. They're inviting you to come to theirs. That's crazy. Or like here in Florida, there's people that have tournaments and you don't see them in one tournament at all in Florida. I always say, like, man, what is that? You know? Hey, so what were some of your favorite highlights from the event, you know, from what you saw? I know you were really busy, but
You know, I saw a whole lot, but I didn't get to watch anything.
yeah,
I think, you know, of course, Joey Castro, I got to watch his katas. Um,
yeah.
Hunter Rodriguez, amazing young man. And of course, Jason Borelli.
Jake
You know,
Borelli.
I
Yeah.
remember being in his dojo 15 years ago with my son. And, you know, we went down there for some seminars. And I mean, you know, the guy's amazing. That's all I could say.
He still has it too. He still has it. That's crazy. Hey, so these are some of the winners right there. Ricky from TCK, he won his division. He had some great fights in the 18 to 29, and then Tankson won the seniors, and then he ended up winning the whole overall. And then let's just go over to some of the pictures of some of the winners. I love that award right there. That's a cool award right there. And look at that, man. Look at
There
that
we are.
place.
Listen, I don't know how I didn't get shut
That
down.
place is packed, man. That looks like a concert.
Yeah, we had, like I say, we had 1,170 spectators
That's another
and
one.
over 400 competitors.
Yeah, 400 and a bunch of spectators.
We had
Right?
another room with 2 rings running in it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, so we're gonna bring in Joey Castro, right? We want to make sure we have time for him, and then we're gonna bring him in. He's a great competitor, national competitor. We're gonna talk about the tournament and some sport karate as well. Hey, I love your hat. We got
You know,
some
that's for my man Kyle. You know, Kyle Reed made sure that I had this hat when I walked in to set up my event. Real
That's
quick, can I
amazing.
give a shout out to my sponsors?
Yes, sir. Give a shout out. Hey, Joey, what's going on? Let's just say hi to Joey.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Hey, Joey.
Well, good. Now, I see your power hat, so I brought my greatness hat so we could have greatness and power together. That's what we had to do today, okay?
That's a lot of power right there. A lot of great stuff. Hey, so Pat, go ahead. Give us give us anything that you have to say about your sponsors and stuff.
Absolutely. I just want to give a quick shout out to you know, a few of my sponsors. You know, we had a really supportive group of sponsors this year. Century Martial Arts has always been on my side. Also, we have FedEx. FedEx is really come through for me. We have Block Insurance. They cover some karate school insurance needs. They're down out of Florida area there. We have Sign Kings. They're a local company to me. They do all our signs and wrap my vehicles for me and such. We have Market Muscle. We have Burnt Hair. She makes amazing weapons bags and embroidery stuff, sells them to tournaments all over. Black Belt Magazine came on board and sponsored us. Maya, it just goes on and on. And Great Mats, they took care of me also.
Awesome, bro. That's great. That's great to hear. Hey, so I don't know if you could see that comment, Joey. It says Mark Plucker. He says that you still have the busted lip with busted lip. I don't see the busted lip.
Oh, yeah. It's still enough good.
Oh, yeah.
Got lucky. So, yeah, I was sparring at Jotty's early in the week, and I caught an elbow. I actually bit clean through my lip. I had 7 stitches, 2 on the top.
Oh, man. You got stitches and everything?
Yeah, a week before. It was actually a couple days before Quebec, but, you know, the stitches actually dissolved already. I got stitched up by the surgeon and plastic surgeon. She did a good job. You can't really see it, but it's feeling good, you know?
Yeah, man. You're good. You're good. I love that you fight. Hey, you people don't know this. Like, people see you in NASCA and like in the league and the national tournaments. You did a seminar at Grand Slam, but you also fight, right? You fight in the tradition. Like, I know you have a traditional fighting background too, right?
Yeah, I fight in the traditional stuff. I spar in a dojo. You know, we spar in a dojo twice a week, usually in the morning and once on Friday. And I mean, that's just how I grew up. You grew up the same way. You couldn't just do forms. You had to do forms, weapons, and fighting. I mean, I chose to specialize in the forms, but you know, you can't be that guy that can't defend himself. So we still put the gloves on.
Hey, Pat, if you have any questions for Joey, let me know at any time, anything, right? So, so Joey, you won the event, you won the forms grants. How'd you enjoy the tournament?
I'm sorry.
Have you been to Pat's tournament ever?
I was real surprised, man. I wasn't going to go actually. I had messaged him a week before. I saw him at Jeff Dawson's event, and he said, would you come down to my event? And I said, I'm supposed to be at the Quebec Open. And then some other stuff came up, and I couldn't really make it to the Quebec Open. So I was stuck here this weekend, and I was teaching Reno, who also trains with Jason. And like, let's just go down to Peck's event. So I'm like, I told him if I could make it, I'd make it. I like to be a man of my word, so I went over there. So I drive out there. First of all, like, Reno told me it was like 30 minutes from me. It was like 2 hours. I drive out there. I'm like, okay, it's a local event. I walk in there, man. I didn't know what I was walking into. I'll tell you, like, it was jam packed. It was so packed, but it was ran very efficiently. Everything went real well. Nice setup. I just wasn't expecting to see so many spectators and so many people. Because even though I'm from Jersey, I really don't go to tournaments down in that area. There's not many tournaments down there. Usually everything's in New York or, in Connecticut, or, some stuff in Delaware, but in Philly, but down there, you don't see much stuff out there. But, he had an amazing turnout, an event, nice trophies, great tournament. I hope you guys, if you guys are in that area, get outside your comfort zone. Don't be that guy stuck in New York, go anywhere and compete,
Yeah, bro, that's awesome.
Thank you for the shout out on that. I like it.
That's great, bro. That's great. Hey, so, a lot of times people, I'm just thinking off the fly here. A lot of times people are like, does forms help fighting, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you that question first, right? And then I got another question after that. Do you think doing your forms helps with your fighting?
It's funny you say this because I have this debate all the time with a lot of people, especially, Akin and Don. So here's my take on it, okay? For me to tell you that you being amazing at forms is going to make you a better fighter would be a lie. You could be an amazing forms competitor, but if you don't practice fighting, you're not going to be a great fighter. Now, what I will tell you is it will complement your fighting, though. There's a lot of, if you do forms if you do anything at a high level, if you swim once a week, or if you run, is it going to help your fighting? No, not if you're doing it once a week. But if you're sitting there swimming every day, running every day, hitting the gym every day, obviously it's going to make you a better athlete and it's going to help your fighting. More so, if you do forms at a high level and you understand what you're doing, you're working a lot of smaller muscles, and muscles you're not using inside that situation, Now, if you're asking me, what I'm saying from there too has a lot, not really to do with point fighting, but just fighting in general. Like, there's some guys who are amazing point fighters, but I bet you in a real scrap, they really wouldn't be able to hold their own. And vice versa. And you can attest to that, especially the way, point fighting is kind of like taking a shift. In my opinion, there's some guys who are amazing point fighters who, if push came to shove and they really had to get into a brawl, it really wouldn't help them. Would that help them in a real life situation? There's no stop in the streets.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For that reason. But, I grew up in Patterson, New Jersey. It's a very rough area. And I can guarantee you, I've probably been in more real life fights than most point fighters out there on the circuit. And what I can tell you is, I'm not going to say my forms background, but the way I train in the dojo, the way I carry myself, the way I conduct myself, my karate in general has helped me in those situations. And that's really what martial arts is about for me. I don't even train to be the forms guy. I train because this is what I do. If I don't train, I feel dirty.
Yeah.
If I go weeks without sparring, I feel like, my forms don't even feel on. Most people don't realize that, So a lot of guys.
Yeah, bro. I agree. So basically what you're saying is like you're a martial artist. Like you fight, you do your self-defense, you do your forms, you do it all, right? You're basically a martial artist. A lot of times that happens with people in the sport. They just stick to doing what they're doing in the sport and like they don't do it anymore. They're done with it. You know what I mean? Like if they're not fighting at tournaments or competing or training for tournaments, they're done with it. And I always see that as a bad thing, like you're a martial artist. It shouldn't just be all sport. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think forms would help you in fighting. I think forms, if you're doing forms, like you say, you're working out those different muscle groups and you're doing, and not just forms, basics. A lot of times fighters, they just work on what they're trying to do to fight. They don't throw anything else. You know what I mean? And like, that's crazy. Like, to me, that's crazy. You got to be in it to do it all. How about you, Pat? What do you think? What's your opinion on this? Do you think forms helps fighting?
I think every part of your martial arts complements each other. Weapons complement your forms complement your sparring.
Yeah.
Because you're a great point fighter doesn't mean you're a great fighter. It means you're a great point fighter.
Yeah.
Being, vice versa. You could have a guy come up off the street, never trained a day in his life, never point fought, and take everybody into the dojo. So
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things. It's an individual thing.
Yeah, you're
Some
right.
people
That's
love
true.
form. Some people hate them. I don't think it hurts. It definitely doesn't hurt your fighting. That's for sure. It
Yeah,
all
for sure.
complements each other.
Definitely, definitely. Hey, Joey, so what do you think about tournaments that have seeds? Do you like that? I know that like
So now,
I'm trying to think about forms
one question.
questions, and one of the big things that I think about is seeds. A lot of times would you rather have seeds or no seeds?
So in my opinion, I mean, I get why the seeds are there. I'd prefer to not have seeds if I go to tournaments and there are no seeds. I like that better. But I understand why they have the seeding.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there are times. I mean, you can see kids. Is the seed the end all be all for whether you place or not? No, not necessarily, and it shouldn't be. But oftentimes it is, and that's what the problem is. The problem is the people who are seeded. A lot of guys, they don't even give the guy that comes up in a division that's, decent, who's better than one of the seeds, the score. And oftentimes that factors into whether, they're a promoter and they want that person at their event, or even
yeah,
subconsciously, if they're accustomed to seeing that person. We're creatures of habit. What you like, what you see a lot and a lot, either you're going to like or you're going to have a distaste for. So, I mean, if you've seen this one kid, you've seen the process, you're going to obviously have more of a taste for what he's doing than the other person. But that has to do with the person being out there and chasing the points. But,
yeah.
I both sides of it. I mean, if for me to sit here and tell you I'm all about the seating, I think it's amazing. I'd be lying to your face, man. And I don't think anyone could actually sit there and tell you that and really wholeheartedly believe that seating is good for the circuit. I mean, I guess it's good for business, good for
Yeah.
the competitor. But I can't sit there and tell you it's the reason people win or lose either. It has a lot to do with it though. It's definitely an advantage. And
Yeah, it is. It
to
is an
that.
advantage, right? It helps you the thing about seeds that if you're seeded, you end up going last, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that and usually the people that go last tend to be the winners, right? Like,
Or even more so in the kids division now, they
yeah,
got that new rule where they split the division. So if the
yeah,
division's bigger than a certain number, those kids got to go twice, And now you got to realize, hopefully, that kid looks better the second time than he did the first. But right there, you're basically giving the kids who don't have to go, you're putting them on that pedestal, even in the judge's eyes. So I don't really like that rule in general, and that kind of is affected by the seeds as well. But, I mean, what can you do about it? I mean, those
hey,
divisions are big, so I get why they do it.
you compete in like a lot independent circuits. You compete in national different circuits. Like, what are some of the biggest? Do you have to change your form or the way you think?
Yeah, quite a bit, man.
You
Actually, in all
do?
honesty, Jacob, stop doing that, man. Sorry, my son's right here. Um, I compete anywhere, man. I'll go anywhere and compete. I'll go to anyone's backyard, to any tournament, to any sanction,
Yeah,
and I'll compete. I know a lot of guys stay loyal to one circuit. They just do NASCAR, or they just do. Did we lose Pat? I think we lost Pat. Yeah.
yeah. No, he's good. He's listening. He's
Oh,
listening
okay,
right now.
okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
good. So I
So
know a
that's
lot of
good.
guys they just do NASCAR, they just do NBL, or they just do the traditional stuff. But wherever I go, I try to adapt. Well, I don't try to adapt, I adapt, and I do my best. And I think that's what makes me a versatile competitor. And that's what I go out there and try to do. When I go out to a tournament, I don't go there and say, I'm here, which is ironic. Most people think I'm out there competing all over because I want to be the best and I want to win, and that's really not why I'm out there. I'm out there because I want to promote good karate.
Yeah,
I want to get my brand out there, and I want to inspire people. I had people come up to me after Sensei Pat's tournament, and they were like, "I was just so blown away and inspired by your performance." Stuff like that. Kids looking up to me. That's the reason why I'm out there doing what I do.
that's awesome, bro. That's beautiful to hear right there. And that's very good. Like, and you kind of went to like a different place that like Quebec Open was that weekend, and you went somewhere different, and it was like a bunch of different people, right?
Yeah,
So
real weird, but everything happens for a reason. I'm happy,
yeah,
I really wanted to go to Quebec. I'm gonna be honest. I had
yeah.
that. I was ready to go, but just the creator didn't see it in
Yeah. Hey,
hard,
it turned out being great. It turned out being great, and it was a great tournament, and yeah, man. Hey, so is there any other topics that you want to talk about on
Uh,
the forums things out there? I think I have a few more in my head, but is there anything
um,
that you want to talk about?
yeah, I guess there's a couple things. So what was I thinking of? I mean, just basically, I was thinking about in general, because we were talking about this earlier, you and I. You sent me a message. What would you ask me? And I was thinking about like kind of like the way the circuits are right now. And I was thinking about the youth competitors, man. The youth on NASCAR. Let me tell you, I mean, and these kids are looking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know? And in general, you know, I gotta give credit where it's due. You know, they go out there, man. If you watch, you know, the Trad Challenge in the traditional divisions, maybe back 2012, 2011, the kids were good. But in comparison to the kids now, some of those kids are looking better than some of the adults.
Hey, you're right, man. You know? You're right.
You know, it's the same with the creative, too, man. The forms is getting higher. And,
yeah.
You know, so what I wanted to ask you was, you know, what I see, because this was, you already see what I was segueing into. I see your smile. I see these kids coming up, and they're looking better, and they're looking sharp. But I feel like whenever the juniors get in there in the fighting, they wind up transitioning out, you know? They either bump up or, you know, there's not as big of a steep curve before they transition into that adult division. What do you think about that?
So you're saying like why aren't they sticking around or
But with fighting.
Right, in fighting.
Forms. Why do you think they're not sticking around the same way?
Well, you know what? In fighting, I kind of you know what? It's funny that you said that because now there's a bunch of juniors that are really coming up. You know, like you said, in 2011, 2012, you're kind of like, man, the same people are winning. You know what I mean? In fighting since the early 2000s, like Trevor, Raymond, Jack, Ross, you know, the same winners for 15 years. But now, I don't know, man. I think that what you said informs that you're kind of starting to see these people getting better. I think just the sport is picking up now again. I think it is because not just the forms you're starting to see like this year. Look, Yakub, Bailey Murphy. You got some people coming up like what's his name? Latona. That he's only like 16 years old. He's not even an adult, and he's beating adults already. You know, and then you got a bunch of crop of juniors that are looking really good. That you know they're gonna do well in adults. So I think it's not just something that you're saying is happening in its forms and well. I think it's actually starting to happen in fighting as well. And you know, the thing is with fighting and with forms is that you're doing the same thing, right? Basically, when you're an adult, right? You just transition to harder competition, right? But in fighting, you got the kids wearing the chest guards, the face gear, all the safety equipment. And then they go into adults and all that stuff. You don't have to wear that. You know what I mean? So that becomes kind of a shock, I think, too. And then, you know, because look, school, college, people been going to college, you know, since back in the 80s, 90s. It's not like college is starting. People are saying, oh, they're off to school now, so they're not competing. You know what I mean? You could still compete and be active if you're in college. So maybe some people say we're losing some fighters to MMA or the full contact, right? That could be true. You know what I mean? But I think that was the case before, but I think we're seeing more fighting now. I think the future looks bright, in my opinion. You know? Yeah. So, yeah. That's my take on that. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there was any questions in the thing. So you had other forms questions? What other form questions did you have to think of, man?
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Joey helped my son. Let's see who this for. Let's see. Joey helped my son. Shout out. What's up, Joey? Hey, so Team KTOC, right? So you've been on this team for a while, right? We got to give a shout out to Rick and Sue and the team.
Rick, they're the best. You know, I can't. Man, listen, they take care of me. They're like my mom and dad when I'm at karate tournaments. You know, my mom and dad never really came to tournaments, so when I have Sue and Rick there, you know, that's kind of what that's like. So, I mean, but KTOC, we're just that kind of team. You know, it's more of a family team than, you know, just being on a team of random people. So we're pretty close-knit. Shout out to everybody.
You guys go to a lot of tournaments, man. You guys go to a lot of tournaments, too. You're really active.
It was good. She tries to spread us out, too, man. Like, she tries to support in our area as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like, going on at the same weekend. Sometimes, you know, she'll try to divvy us up. You go over there, we'll go over there. And, you know, what she does, too, is just awesome. Like, if you need anything at all, you can just ask Sue or you can ask Conchi, and they'll find a way to make it possible, you know. I'll tell you, man, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to compete as much as I do. Or do.
Yeah.
But even with my business, most people don't know I own a school, you know.
Yeah.
help there, and they really helped me out a lot. They're awesome people.
That's great, bro. That's right. And how about Anthony Price? Like he's been good ever since you guys picked him up. Like I know that when Rick and Sue got at Price, I was like, get ready for everybody to start wanting to be on the team. Like you're gonna start getting it because he's a legend. So like I can't wait to see you guys all together. But man, Tankson's having a little bit of trouble getting in. He can't seem to get in, and so we're gonna have to interview him later on. We're gonna bring in Pat. If anybody has any questions, let us know. Somebody says they found the video of you competing in 2004. It's 2004. Yeah.
Don't post that. I know what video that is too. It's like so bad. I think it's a video of me doing on as a kid, but most people don't know this. But 2000 for a couple years. Actually, about that year, I stopped competing for a while. I stopped training altogether. I had my first son. I was very young. I was 18 years old, and I had to get my life together. And I didn't stop training for that reason. I had to go be a knucklehead and just wind up coming back to this. So anybody who's watching, don't quit, man. Stay with this because, everything happens for a reason. Maybe I had to take that break for a bit to come back better than ever. But, what can you do? It is what it is. Okay.
That's it, man. Hey, we're going to bring Pat in. It looks like Tankson can't come on. We're going to bring Pat in just to kind of talk a little bit more about the event and just end the show. If anybody's out there listening, you have a question, let us know. You're also available. What's up, Pat? Welcome back.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, so Joey, you do seminars too, right? You're open for seminars?
A lot of seminars, seminars and private lessons. I train 26 kids privately now. Which is pretty awesome. They're all great kids. I do seminars on forms, weapons, and traditional sparring if you guys are interested.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do. Most people don't know this, but my goal in karate, everybody has a goal for competition. My goal isn't to be some world champion or some, my goal in the way actually, it's a true story about Sensei Pat Reilly's tournament. I was talking to Troy. Troy Benz was there. Shout out to Troy Benz. And I had Friday that week. Shout out to Johnny and my TCK family, Supreme Grandmaster Doc Williams. So I was talking to Troy, and Troy was, I don't know how the conversation came about. We were talking about Tyreek, who's now on the team. Welcome, Tyreek. And we were talking about, greatness, just greatness in general. And I said, Troy, I mean, it's nice to be out here, be at these tournaments, it's just, conversate with these kids, but, whether I win or not, that's not really why I'm here. So he said, we started talking about greatness, and he said, well, I said, my goal isn't to be some world champion. That's not how I intend to be great. That's not why I want to be great. He goes, well, how are you great if you don't win? And I thought about it for a second, and this is wholehearted. I said through my students. See, my goal is to actually be the best forms instructor in the nation. So the reason why I'm out there competing a lot of the times, and the reason I fight too in the trad tournaments is because my sons go to those tournaments, and I can't tell my kid, go out there, do weapons, forms, and fighting, and I just go do forms. I got to lead by example. And the same with the kids. I can't tell the kids, the kids I train to go out there on NASCAR, do your best, compete against the best, and then, no disrespect to anybody who goes 30 and up, not challenge myself and go 30 and up instead of 18-year-old division. I want to go out there and challenge myself and lead my troops. And in my opinion, the way I'm going to be great and the way I achieve my greatness is by sitting there and, helping inspire these kids and guide these kids and, show them via my experience that, anything's possible. There's a lot of competitors out there who are amazing in my division, a lot of talent in my division, but I'm a veteran. I got the experience. I know how to make those adjustments. And on any given day, anyone can win, and that's how it is, whether you're doing forms, weapons, and fighting. But the guy that doesn't win is the guy that, chooses to dodge the competition, or the guy that goes 30 and up when the challenge is in the 18-year-old division, when he could still sit there and hang in with them young guys. I'll tell you right now, when I go in that division, they would love nothing more. Them and a lot of the haters would love nothing more than for me to go up or not show up at all. But I'll always be right there and I'll always give it 100%. And
that's great. That's great advice. Yeah. That's great advice right there. Hey, Pat, so I know it's early still, but do you kind of have like a weekend, a date set or not yet? We'll be staying tuned for that for next year. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Okay. We have a fall youth tournament just for kids. So that happens sometime end of October, beginning of November. We don't even have the date for that yet. But I got to tell you, we're going to have a different venue next year. There's no way we're going back into the into that school again. I don't think they'll let me back after they saw the pictures.
Hey, but that's an awesome problem to have. So, that you need a bigger place, that's
Well,
great.
I was in the casino for 2 years.
Yeah.
I had a ballroom in the casino. It was like in the Mohegan Sun. It was 16 or 18,000 square feet, and I filled it both years. But the casino, it's a little hard to get yourself in there, and they're hard to work with.
Yeah. It is. It is. That's a great venue, but no, that's great, man. So, hey, congratulations on the tournament again, and it looks like we're gonna have to interview Tanks, and I really wanted to interview him, but in this show, but it's all right. I'm gonna get him on the show soon, and we're gonna talk about the tournament too, and just all the history. That guy's like, man, that guy's so awesome, and you had great competitors there. You had a great mix of people that I haven't seen at tournaments, and which is a great job.
Oh yeah, we had some NBL people in.
Yeah.
It was a good bunch.
It was a great mix, and then you had like great fighters. You had Tyreek Saint, which debuted for KTOC. You had Benz. You had Ricky from TCK. You had a bunch of fighters that I don't even know who they were, but there was a bunch of fighters there, and that's a great job of bringing in new people that we haven't really seen, and just more cut with the sport. You can see how big the sport is. It's crazy. I had Point Fighter had 4 events that weekend, and they were all packed, and like that's how you could see the sport is doing good. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So that's great. So congratulations on the tournament. Hey, Joey, you're our first Forms guy I've ever had on the show.
Oh, there you go. I'm not a Forms guy. I'm a martial artist. We just talked about
I know. But Forms. Well, no, let's not say Forms guy. Sorry, my bad. I apologize. The first Forms champion, right?
You're right.
But you're the man. I see.
Tankson, man. Look at Tankson. Triple threat, man.
Yeah. You're right. Tankson.
Juice,
That's great, bro. Hey,
Tankson did win the weapons grands at my event.
Kev Walker too, man. Shout out to Kev Walker, Anthony Merricks. Those guys got some decent forms too, man.
Hey, man, those are great. Yeah, bro. Those are great people right there. And I love seeing that. We need to see more of that. Back in the 80s and the 90s, a lot of people did a bunch of divisions. Then I don't know what happened where you kind of just said, okay,
so let me ask you a question, Alex. What triple threats? I don't think it was your poll. What triple threats do you see out there right now?
Triple threats right now?
Mm-hmm.
Man. There's not many, right?
I'll tell you, Julia Plowker, man. Forms, weapons, and fighting.
Oh, yeah. In the juniors. Yeah, in the juniors. In the juniors, you see a lot of that happening. But then I don't know what happens in when they get into adults. Like Ross Levine was his first tournament. He won AK overall fighting and weapons. But then you kind of saw him just say, okay, I got to do just fighting, So I don't know what happens. But Tankson is a guy that's been doing, forms, he does it all, right? He's the man. I love the way he's adjusting his fighting too. Like he's punching more, right? Now.
You know what he told me? He's not here. I'm not speaking for him, but I'll tell you what he told me about his fighting.
Yeah.
While fighting, he was watching some of the judging, and you go over there. The judging is a bit different than what you're accustomed to on NASCAR, where their perception's different because they're seeing very high level fighting.
Yeah.
So he was telling Reno, basically, when you score, you got to make it very clear you're scoring. You can't go for like reaching points. Really try to be more precise with your stuff. Make sure you key eye, because these judges are a bit old school,
Oh, man.
He adjusted and made those adjustments very, very, very quickly. And I think that was a testament to his experience as a fighter to be able to do that on the fly, And he was just able to sit there and analyze, sit there and watch. And then he made a comment, too. I'm not going to say who, but somebody was watching his fights. He knows he can watch me fight, man. He can watch me all he wants because I still don't know what I'm going to do when I get out there. So, I mean, that just shows you how laid back Jason is and where his kind of mindset was on the whole thing. But, he's just a real, he was real relaxed, man. And, even with the forms and weapons, he went out there and said, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to just kind of wing it and, kind of look at what the competition is doing. I kind of freestyle my form off just off the top of his head. It wasn't a routine. You don't really see anymore. So, I mean, shout out to the guy. He's doing good. I think it was a good event for him to get his feet wet again. So.
Yeah, bro. No, and he was at Grand Slam the week before, and I saw him in teams. I think he won the senior grands, I think, and then he won. I saw him in team fighting. He beat like some good. I'm not gonna say his name, but he beat some young, good up and coming fighter, and that's crazy. But But yeah, man. Hey, so yeah, Tanks is trying to get on. It's a shame, but I'm gonna get him on the show maybe later on tonight or tomorrow. So I gotta interview him for sure. Hey, so Pat, Joey, thanks for calling in. Thanks for coming in and joining me on Point Fighter Live. All right, it was a great show. We have another show coming on later on in the night at 10. We got Robbie that's going to call in for the Quebec Open. We're going to cover the Arkansas Open later on with Brett Ford. So everybody out there listening, make sure you guys tune in, and thanks for watching.
Real
all
quick,
right, guys.
before you let me go, guys, KTOC Nationals, don't forget, all right? You guys have never been to K-Talk, biggest tournament in New York, best tournament in New York. You guys got to come through. If you're coming through, make sure you hit me up. I'll take you guys out. We'll train some. We'll have some fun. But if you've never been to KTLC, you guys got to come by. It's an amazing event.
Hey, Jotty says you're a punk. Jotty says you're a punk.
Jotty loves me. I'm his favorite. I'm his favorite kind of guy. He won't admit it, but
make sure the TCK camp too. Make sure you guys get ready.
TCK winter camp. We got that guy's a genius.
When are we gonna start getting some names, Jotty?
Oh, he has something big planned.
I know kind of who he has. One person, but I can't say anything. But he told me months ago, and I'm like, you know, I'm Cuban. Cubans like to gossip a lot, like as you guys know. And like, I want to say it. I'm gonna better put it out there already, Jotty. Nah, I'm just kidding. I want to do that. Hey, Jotty will come down here and whoop my butt. Hey, thanks for calling in, guys. Power.